up, y'all? It's Travis Fowler Harkrider back here with the Four Corner Post channel, bringing you the new edition of Best Wrestling Show of the Week. I appreciate you guys with your patience. I had to take some time away for some personal matters, but let's not waste any more time. And hey, if you like what we do here at 4CP and BWS, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And at the end of this video, give it a like. Make sure you share it and comment on it. And don't forget to hit your bell notification so that you're notified anytime a new video is uploaded to the channel. Now, let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about the ones that didn't quite make the cut of being the best. We're going to start off with Monday Night Raw, which had the women's segment start off the show after that promo from Titus O'Neil. It started with the Becky Lynch promo, then went into the Bianca Belair match with Carmella, which was good. But basically, that was just a tool to continue the story and setting up more of their beef for SummerSlam, which arguably might be the best story, only rivaled by one other one that we'll get to later in the day. We've also got the Judgment Day thing going on right now, and that honestly is kind of a question mark as to exactly what it is that they're wanting to do with Judgment Day. I'm not really invested into the stories of the Mysterios, although I'm pretty sure all this is just going to lead to Edge coming back and eventually taking on Finn Balor. There also was a little segment with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins helping build for him and Riddle at SummerSlam, which I feel is really random, but it is what it is. Another important thing that went on is the continuation of the Street Profits and the Usos storyline for the Undisputed Tag Titles. Now, we've seen the last couple weeks almost an MVP have been involved with this, and this week was no different. Originally, it was Omos versus Angelo Dawkins, which then turned into a tag match that, yes, while the Profits were successful, still got a beat down at the end of it by the Usos. So that continues their story, which has been pretty good. Then we had the main event segment, which I'm surprised it was the main event segment, but it was. Miz TV featuring Logan Paul's return and their little face-to-face confrontation to set up their match for SummerSlam as well. Nothing real too big here to report. We all knew it was going to happen. It just was like, okay, we kind of get it. We don't need to take too much time with it. Moving on now to Friday Night SmackDown, where we saw Stephanie McMahon open up with the promo thanking Vince McMahon after he announced his retirement earlier in the day. So a day that we thought would never come. I know I did, as well as everybody else. And it was truly shocking to hear that, but it was very heartwarming to give that one last thank you to Vince McMahon. I still think that they should have him come out at SummerSlam and give one final physical goodbye so that we can seal that book shut. Now, moving on into it, SmackDown had one other good thing that I actually enjoyed, and I said it rivals the Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair promos that are going on right now. The other great story right now is Baron Corbin and Pat McAfee, and I have enjoyed it. It actually has a sense of realism behind it, seeing as both guys played the Indianapolis Colts back in '09. There actually is a good story here, and to me, it's the best story going into SummerSlam right now, at least the one I'm fully invested in. Like I said, the only other one that rivals it, I believe, is Lynch and Belair. But again, that's just my take and opinion, take it for what it's worth. We also had McIntyre and Sheamus come out to set up a match that wasn't for SummerSlam, oddly enough, but for next week on SmackDown, which is called a Donnybrook Brawl, and that will determine the #1 contender for the Undisputed Universal Championship at Clash at the Castle. So that'll be a fun match. I think it's always fun to see these two fight because they are just so physical with each other. But let's not waste any more time, and let's talk about the biggest story to come out of SmackDown, and it's that unicorn mask. Like, where do I get one? Because it's kind of creepy, but kind of fun and cool. I mean, that mask stole the show, in my opinion. Of course, we all heard the rumors that Brock Lesnar had left the arena, which apparently was still true, but somehow things got smoothed over and Brock came back. Lesnar, of course, came out at the very end after the main event match, and he destroyed Austin Theory with the briefcase. This, of course, was just showing, hey, I'm here, no big deal. But now let's move on in to AEW Dynamite, which was capped off by the barbed wire massacre match, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I gotta bring up the House of Black situation because it's almost like they are doing two storylines. They've got the Brody King and Darby Allin thing going on, but yet they've also got Miro going on at the same time, which I think they're trying to set up for Black and Miro. Yet at the same time, they've got a Sting and Black thing going on, which I'm not mad about. It's just, I need y'all to kind of pick a lane and stay in it right now. But that's my biggest complaint on that part right there. They just need to kind of fine tune exactly what they're doing. We also had a great promo by FTR that was going to lead towards the FTR Briscoes tag title match, 2 out of 3 falls at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's good, it's fun, I enjoyed it, you will too. We also saw so many different things take place when it came to the Jungle Boy Christian Cage thing, where Christian Cage would end up ultimately running away from Jungle Boy after Luchasaurus turned back face and aligned himself with Jungle Boy after doing a heel character for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks with Christian. I personally hope that that's not something that sticks. I really hope they actually keep Luchasaurus heel because I felt like they had a good thing going there. So only time will tell to see how that ends up playing out, but hopefully it goes back in that favor. Of course, we can't talk about the barbed wire massacre match without talking about some of the issues that were in it. Of course, the ending being the biggest one. And I really feel like AEW is just snake bitten with these barbed wire matches and they really should just stop. But hopefully we will eventually get into all those because it just seemed like it was a heck of a mess to deal with. But nevertheless, it wasn't too bad. But the best wrestling show this week, which I have said multiple times this past year, is still Impact Wrestling. From start to finish, they had a great show. They opened up with Vex, which is the team of Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, winning a #1 contenders match for the women's tag titles after they tried to convince Gail Kim that Deonna deserved to get added into the women's title match at Emergence, which did not happen. But women's tag titles is definitely a good, hey, you won, you deserve it. And I actually like the team, so hopefully that continues on and develops into a good story. We also saw Speedball Mike Bailey defend his X Division title against Violent by Design's Diener, who is trying to get back into the good graces of Eric Young. He was unsuccessful at capturing the X Division title, Speedball retaining in a good match there. We also have seen Bullet Club and Honor No More continue their storyline, which I've been a huge fan of. BC picking up the victory and actually utilizing Maria Kanellis' interference to their advantage this time with a little bit of help from Heath, hitting his finishing maneuver on a member of Honor No More, which cost them the matchup. And now we see the BC starting to pick up more momentum again over this whole storyline with Honor No More. But the big talking point this week was the Motor City Machine Guns and the fact they had a great matchup that actually is going to lead to one of them being a #1 contender. And it was a really good matchup between the two. I've always been a fan of these two and the team in general. Alex Shelley picked up the win, and then we saw an attack by Violent by Design, which then led to Kushida coming out. And we will now have a 6-man tag for next week. Kushida and the Guns taking on Violent by Design. It should be a really, really fun, entertaining matchup to watch next week. Well, you got my vote for what the best wrestling show was for this week. What did you think was the best? You let me know down in those comment sections below, and I will see you all again here next week.